going on, everyone? So we got a new D'Angelo Russell suitor in the Toronto Raptors. So per Dave McMenamin, the Toronto Raptors are the most recent team to be involved in discussions about trading for D'Angelo Russell. Russell's name has been mentioned in trade talks with the Brooklyn Nets, Toronto Raptors, and Atlanta Hawks in recent weeks. Sources told ESPN, while the point guard managed to play some of the best basketball of his career. Now, D'Angelo Russell is playing amazing basketball. No doubt about it. Toronto Raptors emerging as a team that wants D'Lo. You could argue is like, why? Right? Because they just traded for Emmanuel quickly. But the beauty of D'Lo is his ability to play on ball, off ball, him slotted alongside a guy like a Quickly, who he's not a great playmaker, but he's very athletic, very explosive. You could kind of have them run that dual point guard type role. And also, I think Quickly could learn a lot from D'Lo in regards to just his ability to see the floor, his ability to make plays. The Lakers have been heavily linked to Bruce Brown since the offseason. Right? The Lakers were very confident, and reports were that he was headed to the Lakers. He was going to the Lakers instead of Gabe Vincent, that basically he would have gotten Gabe Vincent's money. And then the Indiana Pacers swoop in and say, hey, we'll double that. Come sign with us and, go get your bag, right? Like, nobody doubted or was upset with him going to get in the bag. I mean, us as Laker fans would have loved to have him, especially over Gabe Vincent, who's only played, 5 games for us? But can't be mad at him for going and getting his money. So the Lakers having that interest in Bruce Brown, the Toronto Raptors potentially being that third team that would be willing to take on D'Angelo Russell because the Atlanta Hawks do not want to take on D'Lo. Maybe we can see some traction here. Maybe we could see something go on here. Maybe it's a 3-team deal between the Raptors, the Lakers, and the Atlanta Hawks. That would be great. Could the Lakers land Bruce Brown and Dejounte Murray? That would be huge for the Lakers because now not only do you get 2 defensive guards, but Bruce Brown has always played very big for his size. I mean, that's one of the things that has been so great about him and why teams like him so much. I mean, the thing is, though, is that there's a lot of competition based on reports for Bruce Brown. I just think it comes down to, how can the Lakers structure the deal? What does that look like? And then another big report yesterday, and the reason I want to touch on this again just briefly, I made a full video about this, so go check that out after this video. But Sam Amick from The Athletic said that the Hawks have displayed clear disinterest in landing D'Angelo Russell, which would necessitate the need for a third team to that end. The Nets have been routinely highlighted as that prospective suitor. Now, the reason I wanted to mention this article again is it's good, right? That means now you have multiple options if you're the Lakers for a potential third team. If it's just the Brooklyn Nets, Brooklyn kind of holds some of the cards, right? Brooklyn's in a position where it's like, well, hey, you need us to take D'Lo in order for you to go get Dejounte Murray. Guess what? That's going to cost you. Well, now Toronto comes out of left field. Then, hey, guess what? That is another team that is now, it's like, okay, who's going to get D'Lo? Right? Now there's the Lakers are now in a position of leverage because it's like, hey, we'll take it to the highest bidder. Because look, regardless, getting Dejounte Murray would be great. Lakers have to get more than just Dejounte, right? Dejounte would make a big impact. Talk about an all-star level player. He adds athleticism, his ability to play make. If he's allowed to play on ball, he's going to thrive and blossom once again. He's going to have it so easy playing alongside LeBron James and Anthony Davis. Hopefully he can kind of get back to the 3-point shooting he had earlier in the season. That's really kind of regressed mightily, which is a concern that I have. Look, I have many concerns about Dejounte Murray. I have expressed them heavily throughout this time, but he is a upgrade without a doubt, right? And I would be more than happy to have Dejounte Murray on this Lakers team in the point guard role, assuming he gets to play the point guard, right? If he's just kind of playing off ball the whole time, then you might as well have just kept D'Angelo Russell. But Lakers going and getting Dejounte Murray, to me, it comes down to which team is willing to part with what. Lakers definitely need defense out on the perimeter, especially without Jared Vanderbilt, and Jared Vanderbilt being gone for who knows how long, minimum at least a month. That's just when they're going to reevaluate him. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's when he's going to return. For all we know, Jared Vanderbilt He could be out till the postseason. He could end up missing the year. We're not out of the woods yet in that regard. But if, say, Toronto is like, hey, we'll take D'Lo, we'll give you, a piece or whatever to send to Atlanta, that has to be within reason. And then you work something out to where it's like, okay, well, we would like Rui too, so send us Rui and we'll give you a Bruce Brown or something, right? You can make it work. The Lakers can theoretically go get Dejounte Murray and a Bruce Brown. And we'll touch on the pairing in a moment. But from the Brooklyn Nets side of things, right? If you're the Lakers, it's like Dorian Finney-Smith would be great. Royce O'Neal would be great. Both of them would be great. So can we work something out there to where, who's willing to take D'Lo and give up the most or be willing to take the least, I guess. Right? Because essentially, whether it's Toronto or it's a team like the Brooklyn Nets, they're essentially getting D'Lo for pennies on the dollar. Because all they're doing, they're basically being the team that wants a guard in D'Lo, where usually they would have to trade for him and give up assets. Whatever the value is, whether it's a first round pick or it's 2-3 seconds, right? Or it's a protected pick, whatever the value of D'Lo is, that's usually what a team would have to give up. In this circumstance, you would essentially get D'Lo for a lot less than you would if you were to trade for him straight up, right? And now look, it's very possible that what ends up happening is Bruce Brown ends up going to the Atlanta Hawks. That could be a possibility because look, Bruce Brown has a team option and he would fit beautifully next to Trae Young. So it could be a 3-team deal to where the Toronto Raptors are getting D'Lo, Bruce Brown is going to the Atlanta Hawks, and then the Lakers end up getting Dejounte Murray. Now, hopefully, the Lakers are able to get other pieces, do other moves, get other things done, whether it's trading Rui. They're currently trying to trade Gabe Vincent and trying to clear some salary. There's targets like Gallinari. There's options out there, and we will see. I still personally would prefer the Nets deal if you could get a Dorian Finney-Smith or you could get a Royce O'Neal. I like Bruce Brown, don't get me wrong. I like Bruce Brown a lot. But there is the concerns of how much is he going to cost next season? If you get rid of Gabe Vincent, then you could basically just give him Gabe Vincent's money and you'd be fine. But if you can't, then it's yes, you could, terminate his option and then try to renegotiate a contract, but you run the risk of him just leaving. Where if you go get a Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith, you don't have to worry about that. But also, they have Spencer Dinwiddie, and the Lakers have other pieces that make sense for the Nets. Right? So, for example, Rui makes a ton of sense for the Brooklyn Nets. So they could send out Spencer Dinwiddie to help facilitate the Lakers get Dejounte Murray, but then the Lakers could send Rui Hachimura to the Nets, so that way they could get a Royce O'Neal or a Dorian Finney-Smith. Where Toronto, the problem with that is the Atlanta Hawks, they either want a player that makes sense next to Dejounte Murray, like a Bruce Brown, or they want expiring salary. So Atlanta or the Toronto Raptors would have to kind of accommodate that, right? But they are a team that could make sense for Rui. They could, because what you could do is if you were them, you could do something like a starting five of say D'Lo, Quickly, Barrett, and then have Rui come off the bench. Right? And then go Scotty Barnes and then Pascal or Jakob Poeltl, right? Or you could do something where you're going, say, D'Lo, Barrett, Barnes, Rui, and Jakob Poeltl, right? That could be something as well, and have Quickly kind of come off the bench and kind of play that role, right? That is definitely an option. That is definitely something that they could do. But I just think the Brooklyn Nets, they make the most sense. And I think it would be a lot more straightforward. It's just okay, Spencer Dinwiddie, boom, there you go. Dejounte Murray, headed to the Lakers. Rui, boom, there you go, headed to the Brooklyn Nets. Royce O'Neal or Dorian Finney-Smith, boom, headed to the Lakers. But if the Lakers could find a way to get Bruce Brown and Dejounte Murray, then that would be great. Because Bruce Brown, you could literally start these two as like your backcourt. You got athleticism, you got size, you got physicality, you got defense, you got everything. Also, Bruce Brown, like, look, Dejounte Murray is a very good point of attack. If he can get back to San Antonio, Dejounte Murray, I mean, you're talking about an all-defensive guy, but he's not like a super physical type of guard, right? He's more like he's got the foot speed, he's crafty, just can get after it, kind of like relentless in a lot of ways. Where Bruce Brown is like, he's the dirty work guy. He's the guy that's in your chest. He's the guy that's giving you the hard foul. He's the guy that you're like, man, get this guy off of me, right? Like, because, players can play through like that, the guy that's like, pressuring you, right? And it's just like, all right, here, but the guy that's like hitting you and in your face, in your grill, being physical, bumping you off your spots, running you over, like diving for the ball, like that, those are the things that Bruce Brown brings and just gives you more of that physicality. So I love the idea of having a Dejounte Murray, Bruce Brown backcourt. When Jared Vanderbilt comes back, you could even go Jared Vanderbilt at the 3, and good luck. I mean, seriously, Dejounte Murray, Bruce Brown, Jared Vanderbilt, Anthony Davis, and LeBron still, when he wants to, can be engaged. Especially come playoff time, I can see him really locking down. I mean, I think you're the best defensive team in the league. And then, the concern would be just the three-point shooting, right? Can Dejounte Murray maintain that like 38 to 40% three-point shooting? And then Bruce Brown, he's been really bad shooting the 3. So can he, at least be respectable enough? If he can, then you'd be good. And then Jared Vanderbilt, we'll see how that goes. But, I mean, defensively, you'd be tough, right? Tough. The other option would be, I mean, you could go with like a Austin Reeves if you wanted to at that point, or even like a Taurean Prince if you wanted a little more size and have like Reeves come off the bench. Because Bruce Brown, again, he could guard the most threes in this league if he needed to or you wanted him to. Like, I think he'd be in good shape regardless and kind of get away with that. But again, it's just, what does it take? How does that look? What do the Lakers have to do to get a Bruce Brown? Because to me, if it's going to be a 3-team deal with Toronto, Bruce Brown's probably going to Atlanta, right? It's probably something. My guess for that type of trade would be D'Lo and the pick swap go to Toronto, right? Bruce Brown, the Lakers first, and maybe like Jalen Hood-Schifino go to Atlanta, and then Dejounte Murray goes to the Lakers. Or could you work something out to where maybe you get another piece from Atlanta? That could be something too. But if I had to guess on a 3-team between Toronto, Atlanta, and the Lakers, that's probably how it looks. Bruce Brown in the first with Jalen Hood-Schifino go to Atlanta. D'Lo with the pick swap goes to, because, and I know some people might think like, well, why would you have to give the pick swap to Toronto? Because they're also, not only are they trading Bruce Brown, yes, they're getting D'Lo, but they're also helping to facilitate the deal. So I imagine they're going to want something, and the argument, and you're going to trade the pick swap regardless. So it's just kind of like you're convincing Atlanta to give you Dejounte Murray because they're going to get Bruce Brown and he makes more sense next to Trae Young. That's kind of where my thought process is. So then like you get the pick swap there, Bruce Brown the first, and Jalen Hood-Schifino go to the Atlanta Hawks, and then the Lakers end up landing Dejounte Murray. It's probably how it goes, or some variation of that. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question on to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. What do you think? How do you feel? Think the Lakers should get Bruce Brown and Dejounte Murray? Do you think that no, it'll probably be Bruce Brown goes to Atlanta? Do you think that, no, just do the Brooklyn Nets deal if you can, because then maybe you get a Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal. I mean, technically you still could, right? I mean, you could even expand it to a 4-team if you wanted to, or just trade with the Brooklyn Nets separately. right? Maybe work something out with them separately. That could be a possibility. There's options and there's flexibility, and that's what matters, right? That the good thing is that the Lakers have options, right? And that's what you want to hear at this time. But again, however you feel, whatever your thoughts are, let me know down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.